Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening or watching. It's your girl, Shaeranea, right? And I'm back with another video. And today, you guys, I just want to ask all the women or men who are watching this channel, comment down below, fellas, what you love, what you believe is amazing about women. And women, comment down below what you love about being a woman. So, I'm going to give you guys... I don't really have a favorite thing as far as me being a woman. I could say being a woman has its pros and cons. And since a very long time, women has had to really make an effort and proving who they are. I believe that women really have a hard time. We always have to prove ourselves, because we're always limited in a box. I don't believe that because we do many things like men that we're trying to be a man. It's just like rising above the limitations of what people put on women. Not being in a box. So women can pretty much do anything they put their minds to. And not necessarily like keeping us in a category of that we're incapable and we're weak and we're not strong. I think the most empowering thing about being a woman is the fact that we are able to endure. We're really strong-minded, very organized, very open-minded at times. We can be very, very mature. We mature a lot faster early on in our lives. It's a lot of great things to being a woman, but I believe the most great thing for me as being a woman is like using my power and strength to help and encourage other people, but also inspiring and being a role model for men and children, and knowing that I can bring life into this world, and just being an overall great person. Hey, yeah. So, sometimes being a woman isn't all that it seems. And though we are said to be the most predominant and most strong of all, and since they say that we are the majority of population, okay, being a woman is not easy, nor is it a cakewalk. But I'll assure you that our hardships are not as... I mean, we go through labor. I get it. We go through labor. We experience the worst. We have to grow up early. We go through a lot early on in our lives. And the reason why we go through a lot early on in our lives is because it prepares us to be mature and wise and ready for the things that we are, like motherhood, like early on. We're supposed to be prepared for the things early on, because a man is not predominantly, in that same genetic disposition, and the way a man's wired up is not the same. So in a society where things are very overlooked, I believe men struggle the most, right? Struggle the most with so many things, and I think it's an underrated topic. It's very underlooked, and the most empowering things about being a woman is, through my experience, is being able to help others. Like, help others in a way that most people wouldn't take the time to do. Like, through the encouragement that you can give a person, or just being there for a person. Like, not even on a financial level, not even on a... just being there. Like, letting a person know that you're going to be there no matter what. Like, having the energy to be there for people. Having the strength to be there for people, and having that long endurance to stand through the storms and the weathers of being a woman, Because all the things that we experience, though we overcome them, ultimately we're strong enough to rise above these things, right? We're strong enough to rise above the very things that or that tears us apart or come for us, right? Ultimately, I believe being a woman is a beautiful thing. Like I said, it has its pros and cons. You know, we're strictly raised in a way that a man is not. You know, and it can be very controversial for us because the way we're raised is entirely different from how boys are raised, and it can be very tough living in a society where men and women are very raised differently. I can get it because we're different sexes, right? But it comes to a point where some of the things in which women are taught, men should be taught too. Because men deserve to know their self-worth and need to learn how to love themselves. And men need to know these things just as much as us. So I see a huge red flag on the society in which we live for both men and women, boys and girls. Though being a woman is a great thing, it's also me being a wise woman and knowing that we have issues in our world and that our men really need help. So ladies out there, women, if you love a young man, or if you love anybody, or you care for the generation of men and the reproduction systems of our wombs, if you care for the livelihood of generations to come, I'm telling you guys, we need to be better women, okay? I can't stress to you guys how important it is that we be better women. Be better women to men. Be better women to our children. Be better women to the boys and the girls. Be better women to each other, right? I think there's an underlying fact when people overlook the fact that we don't do good enough as women and men, and we both have a lot to improve on. We have a lot to work on. And it comes to a point where we all need to sit down and have this real sincere talk about the things that we're going through and the things that we struggle with. So, and how we're gonna move forward and overcome them. Because if we never lay out the foundation of problems, if we never lay out the things that we're going through, we never talk about them, then there's no solution for what we experience. There's no solution for the problems that we kept holding in. Because in reality, if you hold on to a lot of things, ultimately it affects all your relationships. It affects your livelihood. It affects everything that your success, your businesses, your business life, everything in your life, right? Because if we don't learn to overcome the things in which, like, if you see somebody struggling, women, I'm speaking directly to women on this topic, but men can watch too. Women, we must take the initiative to be there, to be that go-to, to be somebody who is willing to help, be more considerate, be more open-minded, be more listening, be more open-hearted to knowing and forgiving, because you gotta be more forgiving, guys. It's tough, but you gotta do it because nobody's perfect, and we have to be better at just loving each other and encouraging each other, empowering each other, correcting each other when we, or like saying, hey, you know, I didn't like the way you said something, you know, addressing things like in a appropriate and healthy manner, addressing things, because this ultimately doesn't leave us mentally confused, nor does it leave us mentally broken. We must face these things on an emotional circumstance as well. We have to learn how to get past these things and cope and learn how to grow and heal and overcome our wounds. But we women naturally learn how to do these things. So I'm saying, women, you got to reach out to people who don't naturally transpire the way. If you see a woman struggling, help her out. If you see a male struggling, help him out. Be there. Because women, we have that natural ability to know what's going on with people. And it's good to know. And not a lot of people are very connected like that. I get it. I'm an empath, I'm a humanitarian. I see in between the lines. I see what's going on with people. So, and I'm like really deeply connected with people's emotions and their spiritualness of themselves. Like, I deeply already know when people are lying to me. So, the biggest thing is being real concerned and being considerate about people, and how mental health is very important and how you should take it more seriously. Your health is your wealth, and the livelihood and foundation of who you are in your family structure, your business, your livelihood. And that is the most imperative thing to remember, because women, we are the first. You know what I'm saying? Everything starts with us, and then everything expands from us, but it all starts with us. Okay? And even when we don't have the help, even when we don't have no one there, even when we didn't have all the the support, it's like a real struggle out here for men. So I think men are more affected by not having a father figure more than women are, and it's very highly overlooked. And I guys, I need you to take in consideration that there's a real problem in our society. There's a real problem in our generation. And when we learn to care and have a little more compassion, a little more understanding of what men are actually going through. Because we grow up early and they grow up late. So when we have a little more consideration and compassion for why they are the way they are, we can get a better understanding for who they are. And accept them a lot better. So no, I'm not saying like you can overlook their excuses and accept all their excuses. You gotta hold them accountable. I'm not saying you're not supposed to hold a man accountable. I'm saying be understanding, okay? Be understanding that a man makes mistakes, and not every man is the same. And some men who are making mistakes naturally don't have never had that parental guidance, out here trying to figure it out on their own. So it's just a red flag that is very overlooked, and I wanna speak about it because I think it's really important that we talk about these things as women and as men. And I feel like men should be a voice, should talk about what they're going through instead of pushing it on the rug and it become a problem. But I'm not saying men should share everything with everybody, because naturally men don't have good friends. I'm telling you, I've been around men most of my life. Men don't choose the best kind of friends. They don't. They never have. So I can see why men never really open up, because men don't have the best choice of friends. And it's just like that. That's just how it is. Men don't have that natural discernment like women do. So we have to be there to give the natural discernment. We have to tell them. We have to be there. We have to be concerned. You have to show consideration and be understanding. This is Life Coach 101. You guys, let's get back to the love. Let's get back to the empowerment. Let's get back to the growth, maturing.